Hi guys, and welcome to Dicing with Death. How are you doing today, Ryan?
I'm doing well, doing well.
You doing well? Doing well?
Yeah, middle of the week, so different time to be gaming for me, but should be fun.
Yeah, yeah. Where did we leave
Oh,
off?
hold on just a second. I've got you screaming in my ear. Mute the stream, mute the stream. There. Okay.
All
Sorry
right,
about that.
no worries. Where did we leave off?
Where did we leave off? Jumping right into it.
Oh no. How's life? What's happened since the last time we played? It's been like a week and a half.
Yeah. I don't know. That's good. New quarter started. Back to
New
work, being
new
productive and all
students?
that. I'm not teaching this quarter, so zero students.
0 students. That's the best number of students. I see you're still in your same place. I thought you were moving inland.
Well, oh, not for a while.
Oh,
Has
okay.
Aaron been filling your head with lies?
Yeah, she told me that you're
It's like
moving away from her for years
she's
immediately.
been brooding about that for months. No, it's probably like May, maybe.
Cool.
And even then, I'll still be here on the weekend. Yeah, for her birthday, I'll be leaving her.
Well, that's okay. She left you for your birthday.
That's true.
Yeah, that makes it fair.
Revenge.
Revenge. Yeah, I've been pretty under the weather. It was Lauren's birthday recently, and
I can.
I just got killed.
April Fools. Any good pranks?
Um,
Do we not need to share
no,
those on
I was
stream?
so dead. I was so dead. There was no pranks.
Bummer.
Yeah. Oh my god. She knows I hate medicine, but I'm dying, and she's forcing medicine upon me.
It's good. That's good. The more drugged up we get you, the better my magical items will be.
All right. I literally like I'm a crazy person. I know there's almost no actual justification for this, but I hate taking any sort of medication at all unless it's like, life-threatening situation or like I've broken a leg, then I'm like, yeah, sure, give me the hydrocodone or whatever. So, for me like taking cold medication because I'm feeling sick is a new thing. We'll see
Yeah.
how it goes, guys. I hate it. I probably should have read those instructions too. Whatever. They wouldn't put two in a single container if they didn't mean for you to take two, right?
Yeah, and for a full-grown man, they usually expect you to take twice whatever dose, or you'll need to.
Really?
I don't know. Depends what it is.
Maximum is 10 caplets in 24 hours.
All right, well, you got 8 more to take. Let's go.
Seriously? Have I not... Should I just be taking more of this shit? This is not dicing with death. This is... Well, I guess maybe it is. In a different sense entirely.
What are the active ingredients?
Active
Is this
ingredients. Uh, acidum...
acetaminophen? You don't want to
acetaminophen,
take the recommended dose. That shit's hard on your stomach.
dextromethophan,
Yeah,
and
so it's probably
phenylpherine.
is it probably like
Cough
anti-congestions?
and nasal... Cough suppressant nasal
Acetaminophen is a
decongestant.
pain reliever, fever
Yeah.
producer. It's Tylenol.
Yeah,
That's Tylenol.
I'll be fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so dicing with death. Where did we leave off last week?
Okay. We made it back to the pit, and I showed Ferris how to make undead minions.
Uh
I made him 12 and a half.
huh.
So I made him 13, but one of them is technically under my control.
Yeah.
And Ferris either didn't notice or didn't care.
Right.
And yeah, so that's where we left off. I don't know if we want to recap the session.
But specifically,
I can't even remember.
He and his minions left, and I think last time we left you in the room with the family.
Yeah, we didn't really. Yeah, I mean that's where we left. So is that the case? He and his guys walked out the door,
Yeah, I
and
think
that's
that's
me and the family.
case. I
Yeah.
think that's the case.
Yeah.
There we go. Cool. We got some new adjusted overlays to hopefully fix some of the issues I was bitching about last week.
Can it fit my entire beard? It's growing.
It will fit your entire beard. Yeah. Yeah, these are much better. Sweet. I just now need to adjust my camera because now my camera's too low. But that's my own fault. It had nothing to do with the overlays, which are actually quite stellar.
Yeah, I love that die.
Yeah. All right.
Although,
So, let's get back into it. What do you do?
yeah, I do have some plans. Not sure how to execute them or how much to bring you in on it.
Tell me all your
Not
plans. I'm definitely not going
really
to
on my
shape my
plans.
actions around
Well,
your plans. Thank you.
so Balrog needs to get his hands on a
I need
forge
to,
so that he can work on his armor.
you're gonna what to your armor?
I need to work on it, or ideally make some new armor.
Yeah.
Um, and it's probably not going to happen here in the pit. I think they know who I am by now. Although we'll see. So I will leave the room with the family and head surface ways.
All right. You head to the surface.
I bring my one skeleton with me and drop him off on the way out. Does anyone in the family say anything on the way out?
No, they say
Go
nothing.
back, go
You
back to their
actually you see
meditating.
Ferris and his dudes walking because they left like 2 minutes ago, and you
Mhm.
actually quickly surpass Ferris because he is a slow, fragile human, and you are a extraordinarily hardy person.
Although
So
my
it's a
movement
little bit
speed
awkward because you
is
pass him
like
on the way up.
my movement speed is like 4.
I have acquired food. This is why we have girlfriends,
Me,
guys.
me
They
too.
bring you food when you're sick.
I'm exercising great willpower to leave it here and not slurp on camera. I know how chat loves that.
Yeah, yeah.
You can feel free to slurp on camera.
Oh, I will. I'm gonna.
I'll just put down some of this wine.
Yep. This is the primary reason for relationships, guys. It's not sex. It's getting food when you're sick or when you're healthy, as Ryan's case may be.
Hey, I made this food. Aaron's food is coming.
Yeah, yeah. There's more food.
Second dinner. As I would call it.
Second dinner. Anyway,
Okay.
where were? Yes. Okay. So you pass him on the stairway.
Okay. I have 5 charisma. I probably do not register how socially awkward this is, nor do I care how socially awkward this is.
I will, dear. I won't, dear.
So there's that short period where I'm walking awkwardly behind him, and like usually when you're doing that with someone, you slow down your pace and try not to creep them out. You know what I mean, and let them build the gap. But no, Balrog just keeps walking
Yeah.
at a normal pace and awkwardly lurks up behind Ferris and his minions.
All right.
And
Ferris
passes.
stops to catch his breath as you jog up the stairs behind him, basically.
Does he not have his palanquin of slaves?
I mean, he doesn't have a
That's
palanquin, but he's got plenty of slaves.
He started having them carry him downstairs, if you recall. So
I've forgotten about that.
He's probably piggyback riding on several slaves.
For now, he was walking on his own power. He'll probably have them carry him after you pass him. Okay. So, yeah. Anyway, you get to the surface. It takes you a while because you went down many, 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 many stairs.
All the way to the family.
Yeah, it's like a half-hour walk. So,
Time means nothing to me.
for you, yeah, it's fine. You get back to the surface. It is nighttime.
Awesome. I will drop off my skeleton minion in his place, back at the
Okay.
tomb, instruct him to go to bed, and point back to his little tomb.
He goes back to his little tomb.
I was sort of curious, so I did smack the skeleton in the face and sort of crack his skull in at one point. So is this the same skeleton, still wounded, and he
You had
like
completely
reassembled?
broken. Yeah, he had. When you had killed him, he like fell apart into different bones, and you said that you
And then-
had carefully rearranged the bones back in the.
And gave him the best burial I could.
As
up
best
with.
as you can tell, this is the same skeleton. You don't necessarily remember the exact, fractures or breaks, but
I mean, a maul to the face will leave a pretty distinctive cave-in. I'm
yes,
gonna roll
this
one.
is the same skeleton exactly.
It's intriguing. So it's probably not the skeleton itself that is the source of the curse, but something in the room, as Ferris seemed to allude. But just, thinking out loud. So I'll drop him off and return to the surface.
All right, you are back at the surface. It is nighttime.
And I'll stroll around town on my way out. Um, let's bring this campaign full circle. So I'm gonna head out the south entrance
Uh-huh.
towards Sands Gate. Um, do people notice me, or is there anyone out and about? I'm just
Um,
trying to gauge what their reaction is to me as best I can with 5 charisma. Basically, do they know? Am I like now a creature of the pit, and they fear me and stone me?
you do get spotted on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, However, the person who sees you takes no action. Either they don't recognize you, or they never recognized you, like, or they never saw you before. But for whatever reason, the person who does see you does not react to you.
All right. So I will jog out the town gate
Mm-hmm.
southwards.
Okay. You jog for about a day. I mean, like the equivalent of a day jogging. You get to Sands Gate just like an hour after sunrise.
All right. I will be memorizing spells. So before I go into town, I'm going to go ahead and memorize spells.
Okay.
I will
What
send.
spells do you to memorize?
All right. Cause light wounds, cause fear, command, um, produce flame, and enthrall. And I'm going to go ahead and enter Sands End. Sands Gate.
Sands
whichever
Gate.
one this is,
Sands End
whichever-
is on the top. Sands Gate's on the bottom.
Okay. All right. Sands Gate.
You enter Sands Gate. That is more or less how you remember it before.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Pulling my shawl over my face to block out the sunlight.
The wretched,
I will-
burning sunlight.
Yeah. I'm going to wander around and try and find a blacksmith or an armorer.
It's not too terribly difficult to come across the town blacksmith.
Yeah. So maybe I'll. So it looks like there's only one.
I mean, there are a couple in this town, but you come across one fairly quickly.
I think I will scope them out and see if I can get a lay of the land or whatever.
Scope out the different blacksmiths.
Yeah.
Okay, for a town this size, there should be. Ooh. There are 5 different blacksmith shops in this town.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
So, Balrog here is looking for a blacksmith or for a forge that he can use, not necessarily the services of a blacksmith. I had considered building my own, but I figure I'll wait until I have a more permanent residence to do such. So I don't know if you want to describe the blacksmiths or let me know which one I immediately think will be my best bet for such a thing or looks the most, I don't know, friendly or unfriendly as the case may be.
Okay. Give me give me a charisma check.
20.
Well, shit. All right.
And make note of their race, dwarf or human. You don't need to come up with all of them if you just want to tell me where I start.
No. Yeah, you talk around. You walk around and talk to people enough. You find a decent blacksmith, a good one.
Does he seem like an armorer or just a blacksmith?
He doesn't have a specialty, but he seems to be fairly solid, and he is a dwarf, and he seems to get along with you as much as anyone does.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. So I introduced myself. Did we already go through that, or do you want
Yeah,
to?
yeah. You've had introduced it yourself.
Okay. I tell him that uh, I am a traveler, but also a proficient armorer, and was wondering if he would be open to an arrangement where I rent out use of his forge. I'm willing to stay out of his way and work whatever hours he doesn't want to.
Even dead of night, he says.
I am quite the night owl. That will suit me just fine.
Hmm.
I understand
Well,
um, yeah, your apprehension. I'm willing to put down a deposit or whatever for any damage that will not occur, but just to ease your mind.
sounds about reasonable to me, I guess. I mean, my neighbors won't like it so much, but that's their own damn problem. Go for it. You can use it tonight if you want.
Fantastic.
Come back a couple hours before sundown, and we'll set you up.
Right. Do you have a supplier you would recommend for the iron?
I got plenty of iron sitting around already, and charcoal and everything.
Fair enough. I'll buy it at you.
Now,
Buy it off you.
before we move forward anymore, let's talk about my what do you call this thing? My compensation.
Absolutely.
Now,
What
I'll
would
sell you the
propose as
materials
reason?
at cost because I'm a good guy like that. But I want 5 gold a day.
5 gold a day. Can I check my player's handbook to get an idea of how long this will take me? Be right back. So, 5 gold a day. That sounds steep to me, but Balrog is not really one for haggling. He thinks it's beneath him. So, I think do you recall how long it's like some d6 per?
Isn't it like 2 weeks per AC to make
2
armor?
weeks per level of AC below 10.
Yeah.
So if I'm going for plate, that's 7 times 2 is 14 weeks. 14 times. That sounds like way too high of a price. 14 times
7 times 5.
7 times 5. That's more expensive than paying him to make me the armor. So I will tell him as such. I say, well, at those rates, I might as well just hire you to make me the armor.
Well, you never know. You might get lucky sometimes. All right. What do you think is more reasonable?
So to make this... to make this worth my time, I would need
14
gold
times
a
7
day?
times 5 is only 490. That is not the cost of plate mail. Plate mail is 3,000.
plus half of plus the materials cost, which is going to be about 300.
So you're still looking at 790 as compared to 3,000.
No, plate mail cost. I'm not talking full plate.
Oh.
I think even in the rules, they're like dwarves can't wear full plate because we're racist.
Humans are the best race.
I was talking plate mail or three-quarter plate. Three-quarter plate if we want a lawyer, and min-max the system because they're the same, but one of them's lighter.
Yeah, but if someone especially targets your legs only have half plate on them. Or, like, less plate, light plate.
Yeah. And we can, in a sec, we can have a chat about those different sorts of armor. So, plate mail is 600 GP. So that's like chain mail with plate on top of it places. As opposed to three-quarter plate, which is full plate minus some pieces with no chain mail.
Okay.
So anyways, that's like 300 GP material cost. So I need yeah. Okay, so anyways, I tell him for that. I mean, that's That was all out of character. Neil disagreeing.
Right, right. So, what do you offer him?
I said he'd have to go down to at least 2 gold a day to make it worth my while.
That's fine with me. We can do 2 gold a day. It's 2 gold a day I won't be getting. He raises his eyebrows at you and says, I'll see you later tonight.
All right. All right, so I will go find myself an inn room.
Okay.
And
Everyone's having breakfast, you know, around the inn that you walk into.
all right, I will tell him that I will be here for quite a while and would like to rent a room for the long term.
Ah, all right. Love to have you around for that then.
The cheapest room you got. Without
He kind of
sounding.
level. He goes from exciting to okay. That's the kind of guy you are. He will give you just cheapest room, bare bones is going to be two silver a day. It does not come with meals.
2 silver a day?
Yeah. Normal in-room rate is 3 or 4 silver a day.
I'm gonna stay in character and tear my eyes away from the player's handbook.
Is that not what it says in the player's handbook?
Absolutely not. No, it's 2 silver a week for a poor room.
Really?
3 gold a week for it. So I guess okay. Well, hold on a sec. So 3 silver a day is quite reasonable for a decent inn room.
Right.
Okay, I guess that's so. What did he say? 2 silver a day.
Yeah.
Okay, and I say, and that's your long-term rate.
Yeah. Oh.
All right.
Excuse me. He says, "Yeah, I don't have crappy rooms. The smallest room I got is 2 silver a day. You might find a cheaper place if that's more your style, but I wouldn't be caught dead in those places. You're gonna get fleas."
That will do just fine. I place 2 gold on the table.
Okay, that's 20 days.
Okay, and tell him to probably expect me longer, but this ought to get us started.
20 days, I mean 10 days.
Yeah.
All right. He takes the gold greedily and says, "You be wanting breakfast with that too? Because that's another silver
please.
A day."
Sure, put it on my tab.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
So 3 silver a day.
Yeah,
so.
he rubs his hands together all greedily like.
Yeah, getting swindled over here. All right, so I eat my breakfast and then sleep in my room all day.
Okay. Eventually evening dawns. Or dusks?
Yes.
Evening dusks.
Yeah, I'll try and go just around sundown to the armorer, hopefully catch him before he leaves.
All right, you get there. He seems to be waiting out front a little impatiently.
Oh, I say sorry to hold you up.
It's all right.
So I will reach in my pouch and pull out one of my pieces of jewelry that I stole that I looted from the 2-headed giant.
Okay.
And I say, I have a gift for you as a token of good faith. You can think of it as a down payment if you'd like. And I hand him one of the pieces of jewelry. I say, I hope you don't mind if I need to make use of your tools.
I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
I give him what I judge to be the least valuable of them, although.
Okay.
And hopefully it's not too feminine, but
he looks at it over and says, "All right, thanks, buddy. What'd you say your name was again?"
Balrog Blacksteel.
Balrog Blacksteel. It's an ominous name you got there.
I said these are ominous times.
I don't see how you reckon, but okay. See you later.
Right.
And he trots off to the local pub, which is literally across the street. Okay. You did notice that he had beer like on the stool where he was standing by.
All right. So I wish to get to work making myself a suit of plate mail.
Okay. 3/4 plate mail? Or full?
So I was thinking plate mail would be the simplest. 3/4 plate is actually the same AC as plate mail.
Mm-hmm.
And is lighter.
Okay.
Um, so yeah. So I don't know how do you handle proficiencies for the plates?
What do you mean?
As armor proficiencies to reduce weight?
Just don't you just make an armor proficiency check?
Yeah, but do you need a no? But do you need to use one slot for each type of plate, or is like plate mail cover half plate, three-quarter plate, full plate?
Oh, I see what you mean. Not in terms of armor proficiency, but armor proficiency.
Yeah, yeah, weapon proficiency in armor.
Hmm.
To min max for a second here.
Okay. Well, describe to me the differences in the different types of plates.
So let's brief history lesson, I guess. So I think plate mail came first, and that was putting pieces of plate on top of chainmail.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think historically after that came full plate, which was scrapping the chain and just literally covering your body head to toe in sheets of iron.
Mm-hmm.
Or, yeah, sheets of steel. And then with the development of crossbows and later firearms, plate mail became less and less useful, so they started removing the less important bits. So like some of the leg pieces and I don't know, some like the connecting bits to reduce the weight, and thus you have three-quarter plate and half plate.
Okay. A character who spends weapon proficiency slot becomes equated with the type of armor he gains. Special. Hmm. Hmm.
And then someone in chat was even talking dwarven plate. Dwarf plate. Dwarf plate is kind of silly. It's mentioned in some like the supplementary materials. It's basically just plate mail, so chain mail plus plate plus steel plate. But it's as heavy as full plate and offers a +1 AC. And I don't know. I don't want all that weight. And it's also sort of like a house rule kind of thing. I think it shows up in arms and equipment.
Hmm. I'm only seeing 2 paragraphs on armor proficiency in the combat and tactics. Is it in the actual player's handbook?
No, it's in combat tactics, and that's all they tell you. So I was asking you as a DM.
All right. I'm gonna say. What do you already have a proficiency in? What, chain or splint?
Chainmail.
All right. So I'd say if you grab a proficiency in plate, in this case, it will cover all types of plate because you
Is the
already have the
chainmail
chainmail.
plus? So think of it as like a chainmail and then a full plate, and then bridge the gap, and you can mix and match
Yeah.
and put on
Yeah.
plate mail.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And we'll say you can learn this proficiency while you make the armor because you're, you know.
Trying it on. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
You do have a free weapon proficiency slot, right?
Yes, indeed.
Cool.
So, and I think I'll just go with the plate mail, which is heavier than three-quarter plate, but I guess it gives fuller coverage, as you were saying. And I can probably reuse some of my chainmail
Yeah.
in the process, and hopefully cut down on materials cost. All right.
It actually should cut down on time too.
Yeah, you can decide how you want to think that. How you want to take that.
I'd say the plate is, well,
If you
chainmail is
want to,
really time consuming to link
yeah.
those chains together. I've
So if you
tried
want
making chainmail before, guys. It's
and
really time
you
consuming.
got about this far.
I mean, this far by like this far, but it was still really time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's why you have apprentices who can do your bitch work for you.
Yes, I should have brought some undead apprentices, but that may have been frowned upon.
Yeah.
So,
All right, we'll reduce the time by.
well, we could. So normally, chainmail would take
10 weeks.
7. No, chainmail is AC3. Or sorry, plate mail is AC3.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
chainmail would take 10 weeks. Plate mail would take
14
weeks.
Yeah,
You want to reduce by the.
not by the plate. I'm not going to say reduce it by 10, but I'll reduce it by 7. I'll reduce it by 6.
Okay, so that would be 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And
Is that right? Yeah. let's say you can use more than half of the chainmail you already have.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So we're basically considering that armor AC bonus of 4 then, in terms of materials and time and everything.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you want to think of? I guess we'll settle the materials cost with Dwarf Face at the end. All right. So is there any role playing or anything you want to do in the meantime? Or
So
should
this
we
should
just
take
make
you,
some
what, 8 weeks total to do?
8 weeks total?
All right, well, let me see if there's any interesting events in this town in the next 8 weeks. Just do one at a time. First week is boring. Second week is boring. Third week is boring. Fourth week is boring. Oh my god, 5. 6 weeks in, nothing interesting has happened. You got a few complaints about the noise, but
Um,
it turned out not to be that big of a deal. People got over it.
okay. Can let
Sorry.
me know if there's any serious complaints. I do probably have spells at my disposal, but I will refrain from using them if
Okay.
this may
Finally,
be.
on the 8th week.
So this is as I'm finishing up. Why don't
Yeah.
I subtract in rooms? So 3 silver times 3 times 56.
Are you actually eating your food? The breakfast they make for you?
Oh, I probably. I mean, I totally forgot. So I probably after a few days will realize. Wait a second, and stop paying. So
Okay.
we'll add a few silver to the end. I totally would have just paid 3 silver a day. By
Right.
the way, I completely forgot. So 112 silver. Let's plus, like, say 3. So 115.
Sure.
So it's
That's a
11.5 gold.
yeah.
On top of the 2 that I paid, so 9.5.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm settled up with my in bill through the end of the week. And something is happening. Hold on. One other piece of bookkeeping um, from the forge. I'm going to take several small straight pieces of iron and memorize a hold person spell
Okay.
instead of my produce flame
Okay.
for the time being.
On the 3rd day of the 8th week,
Hmm.
let's see what happens. Third day of the 8th week, a rider comes through town.
Hmm.
Or not really a rider, but someone comes through town bearing a message. You're not around to hear this, but word spreads pretty quickly. And it turns out that some sort of beast out in the sands have been eating people on the road. And the road, it turns out not many people have been coming from the pit for a while. And finally, this guy got through between the pit and Sands Gate. He's like, yeah, no one's been to the pit from Bright Rock or Sands Gate in a few days, and we haven't heard anything from the people that have gone the other way. And the guards here are like, yeah, well, we haven't seen anyone coming from the pit. So it turns out that something has been terrorizing or molesting people on the roads here. They found bodies, and God knows what it is, but there's something out there in the sand that looks like killing and eating travelers. And it's on both sides of the pit.
This is interesting. I'm curious to hear more if during my daytime hours or whatever, when I'm killing time, I will head to the pub and try and overhear some gossip, but
All right.
not going to pursue it any more than that.
There's a lot of people talking about it. It's basically the whole talk of the town. No one knows what it is. There's a lot of theories. Some people say it is bandits. Some people say it's giant snakes. Some people say it's vultures that have been just picking people to death. Some people say it's wizards. No one has any proof whatsoever. They've just seen a couple of corpses. The corpses have had large bites taken out of them. The bites have bitten through the plate mail, not plate mail, but armor of different types. So whatever it is, it's big and it's strong.
Hmm.
It holds you gently at night. You know, all the usual stuff. Wildly unfazed by jokes, guys. This is the shit I've been putting up with for years. Years.
So teeth, piercing armor, goblin of travelers. I don't know. Has anyone described what it's supposed to look like? Or
No one's seen it.
Oh.
Only one person has ever come through. Only this one messenger or traveler has ever made it through between the two places.
Hmm.
And no one knows if it's centered specifically around the pit or if it's across the entire cooling sands.
They haven't heard. Well, I guess we're the south of the cooling sands, so we don't hear anything except for from.
Yeah, but no one has gotten to the pit from Bright Rock. So who knows if there's problems between Bright Rock and Sand's Edge, or is it just around the pit? There are many questions.
We're in Sand's Gate right now.
Yes.
Yeah. Have there been any merchants from the oases?
No word of merchants that are traveling through the oases either.
That's peculiar as well, I would imagine.
Yes, quite.
Intriguing. Okay. I'll make a mental note, and I'll probably look into it once I'm done with my current task.
Okay.
But I will get back to it come nightfall.
All right. Okay. The week rounds out, and you finish your armor.
Okay, time to roll a proficiency check. I do have this cool metal spell. I was considering trying to use that in the forging, but reasonably useless.
Would not be that useful.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and roll. So I get my armor proficiency. If a success, I'm assuming, is a success DC 20, DC 21? Probably 21 is standard success, right?
Yeah.
If they don't specify, like usually I guess you would roll and then try and roll below.
Yeah.
Is a typical proficiency check. And they explain what failure means, and I'm supposed to know what failure means. So,
I've been thinking about the way we've been doing things, where you roll d20 and add your stats, and it seems maybe a little broken.
It's the same as doing a check. So my armor is 12. Rolling a d20 and rolling 12 or less is the same as rolling a d20 plus 12 and having a DC 21
or higher. Yeah.
And the whole DC it's basically borrowing the skills rules from later editions.
Yeah.
And applying them.
It should be fine.
So should I just roll a standard proficiency check then?
Yeah, do it.
So just straight d20.
And d20 plus your whatever you call it, and roll a 21 or higher is success.
Okay.
Whoa.
If you miss by 4 or less, you get armor that has a chance to fall apart.
Right.
If you were hit with a 19 or 20. But I just barely squeak by.
Barely squeaking by. All right, that is done.
And it works. And it's lovely. Can we rule that it is black steel? I've got some family secret that makes it black colored.
Sure.
Either some kind of enamel or something I mix in with the...
You mixed in something on the side. It's a family secret. Turns the steel black.
All right, and I've been practicing with the pieces as I've been making them, and we are ruling that I've got my plate mail proficiency by now.
Yep.
Sweet. All right. Standard suit of plate mail. Perhaps in the future I can customize my helmet, maybe get some cool little horns on it. Maybe whatever creature I slay will have nice teeth I can mount all over the place. All right. So I will need to settle up with the dwarf and figure out what my materials cost.
What does that say in the book for materials cost?
It's generally half
Okay. Well, we're gonna say that it was.
I feel like it's in. Wait, lose half. I'm not. I'm not seeing it in the proficiency section. I think it's somewhere in the DMG where it says materials cost. It's like it says something vague, like at least half. But I think that's sort of the rule of thumb to be followed.
It doesn't say it in the PHP anywhere.
I didn't see it. Not under the proficiency. Okay. Did you find anything or no? Do you want me to do some research? Sneeze.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm still looking. If you can keep looking, that'd be great.
Yeah, I think it's in the. Maybe it was under. Oh, thank you. That's lovely. Maybe it was under weaponsmith that it was talking about that.
The DMG doesn't really say anything about it.
I read half of the GP cost somewhere.
Yeah, that sounds familiar to me too. It's in the combat and tactics somewhere? God, those drugs work really well. I don't see it in the combat and tactics either. Is it possible that I missed it in the player's handbook? That we both missed it in the player's handbook? I doubt that.
Unless it's somewhere else.
No. What other... I mean, it's not in skills and powers, and it's not in spells and magic. Is it in arms and equipment?
No way.
No. No one's read arms and equipment. Not even I've read arms and equipment.
Really, it's a short book. It's pretty useless. I've definitely read arms and equipment. Usually probably while you were DMing and I was bored because you were playing with some other character.
Yeah, well, I probably haven't read it cover to cover, but I've perused it plenty of times. Worst investment ever. Never buy the arms and equipment book, guys.
It's got pretty pictures.
It has pictures, but that's it. It gives you no new rules on anything. Oh, maybe that was weaponsmithing. That did the half.
No, they actually have like specific costs.
Well, I don't have to tell you. We'll say what is the so you say half. So give me the cost of
it's 600.
3/4 plate minus the cost of buying chainmail divided by 2.
I didn't make 3/4 plate. I made plate mail.
Give me the cost of plate mail minus the cost of chain mail divided by 2.
525 divided by 2, so it's like 262.5.
There you go.
Let me double check that. 525. Yeah, 262.5. I'm assuming chainmail is actually 75.
What are you guys talking about in chat? He injected 3 full marijuanas the other day?
Neil, you druggie.
Don't eat. Neil doesn't eat mushrooms. He injects marijuana. God, you guys don't know how to do anything. You don't inject marijuanas. You snort them. You get the little clove or whatever they're called, and you just put it up your nose, and you go.
2 whole marijuanas, you die.
3 whole marijuanas? Yeah. Well,
maybe that's why he's so sick.
I'm hardcore like that. 3 whole marijuanas up the nose, guys.
Okay.
You can't there's no way to snort weed, is there?
Sure, you snort it up your nose. It doesn't get you high or anything.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Okay. So 262.5.
All right. How much money do you have, dude?
I'm not telling. Not a couple hundred more.
All right.
I got 600 from the giant.
That's right. Snort THC crystals. I don't think that would do anything, my friend. I don't really know. I don't even want to know. We should go to Colorado, figure it out. Or Washington soon. Is it legal now?
It's legal. You just can't buy it.
It's legal to own it, to use it, but not legal to sell it.
Not really. No, I mean, no, because you can't. I don't know. This is a discussion for another time.
All right, discussion for another time. Drugs with Ryan and Neil. We'll come up with a show for it.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, you make your armor. It is successful. No one in those remaining days. No one has come through from the other town to the north.
Alrighty. So I will thank our dwarf friend, who we never named, for allowing me to use his forge.
His name is Fidget. Fidget Brown.
Okay. I say, may Sayor bless your forge.
Yeah.
Guide your hammer.
He certainly does.
Okay.
And thank you. He says, patting his pocket. It's a tidy little sum for absolutely no work.
And you tried to make it out like this was money you weren't going to be getting.
Well, when I made it, if you weren't around, free money for me. So in the while you were listening in at inns, you heard that yesterday a group of adventurers had been hired by the magistrate of Sands Gate to go out, find whatever it is that is disrupting the roads, and to slay it and bring it back, or bring back its head.
When was it? How long ago was this?
Yesterday.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and jog out of town, save these adventurers from the monster, and then loot the both of them.
Okay, where do you go?
I'm going to head north along the road.
Okay.
Jogging along. I probably finish up at morning, don't I? So I think I'll twiddle my thumbs until it's nightfall.
Okay. Well, let's take our first break there, and we'll figure out what happens in the next section. See you guys in a few moments.
Bum.
Bye-bye.